I didn't know I would have to bake the cake and then put it into crumbs. What? Hey, it's Alex, and today I'm gonna do Halloween Bake With Me and also do some story times. I'm gonna tell you a couple stories about haunted houses, just ridiculous things that happened to me. I'm also gonna walk you through some Halloween treats I want to make. I didn't want to buy any candy this year because we don't get trick-or-treaters where we are, and I just end up eating a whole bowl of candy. And now listen, I don't know how the health ratios between me baking treats, but I do have some healthy recipes in there. Let me make very clear, I'm not a baker, I'm not a chef, but I'm gonna try my best and actually like put effort into this. So I'm gonna walk you through the groceries and kind of give you an idea of what I'm gonna make. Okay, I think this is everything to start. I have coconut oil. I'm gonna make 2 healthier snacks, and then the rest are just free for all real baking snacks. But I have coconut oil because I'm going to make a super simple fudge recipe. It's just a little bit healthier, so if I'm feeling like trash while eating all this but I still want something sweet, I'll have an option. And if it's good, I can keep making it, so it's just the perfect time. I have pure pumpkin and pumpkin spice. I saw a recipe for pumpkin pie protein bars. I will like it, and it's a pumpkin pie recipe, and I'm baking, so I'm obviously gonna make something for myself. I also have almond butter for that. So for like the really sweet things, I have white candy melts and 2 cake mixes. So I have birthday cake, which is mostly for my boyfriend, and red velvet, because red velvet is the more Halloween and I like it. But my idea is to make cake bites that are white on the outside and red on the inside. And I'm going to use either black icing or chocolate chips to make like eyes, so it'll be like when you bite in blood, you know? That's kind of Halloween-y. And then I have white chocolate chips and dark chocolate chips because I want to make chocolate covered strawberries that are ghosts. Me and Cody always eat chocolate covered strawberries, but I thought it would be fun to make them look ghostly. I will also link all these recipes down below. I got them all from Pinterest. And then besides that, I just have some like, I have Halloween like candy toppers. I just have white icing, I have green icing, and I have black icing. I have red icing too. Yeah, so I have red icing too, so I can just also decorate it and make it look Halloween-y. So this is gonna be a big task. I have to move this watermelon. This is gonna be hard. Let's start with the fudge because the fudge is kind of like a universal. You could make this at any time. So all I need is honey, cocoa powder, and coconut oil. So we have the coconut oil. I don't know what size pan I have, so I'm just probably gonna put it in a Tupperware and see what happens. Enjoy some B-roll and some spooky music. It looks super good. It looks delicious. I'm so excited. So I put the fudge in the fridge. I'm gonna just do a taste test. This was not the taste test. Okay. Okay, I think I like it. So as expected, very coconutty. So if you don't like coconut, you might have to try to sub something in for the coconut oil, but I think it's gonna be pretty good. I know it's super easy to make. So since I wanna make 2 things of cake balls, I'm going to make one of them now. I'm gonna make the red velvet one since they're more Halloween-y. Worst comes to worst, I don't get to the other cake balls and I make them in a couple weeks. I didn't know I would have to bake the cake and then put it into crumbs. What? What if I bake it into cupcakes and use the crumbs? It's the same premise, right? Just because I only have a cupcake tray. Okay, so I'm gonna bake this cake and just kind of take you on a B-roll of me making it. When I get to the next item, maybe while we're waiting for it to bake, or maybe while I'm decorating, we'll get in the story time just because that's gonna make some noise. But let's make a cake. cupcakes are made, and I'm gonna sit at my kitchen table because now I have to mix like frosting and roll them up. I can have a story time while I do that. Okay, so this is when it gets messy. This is the cupcakes. I need to mash this all up so it's into crumbs. I need to add icing to give it that like wet kind of cake texture. I always thought it was raw batter, which is why I thought it was weird because you're not supposed to eat it, even though I do. But you cook it first and you make it kind of gooey. So yeah, let's do a story time. I love Halloween. I like scary things, but can't deal with them. Like watching scary movies is really fun to me, but at the same time, I won't sleep for like 3 months. 2016, if you pals remember, was kind of like the year of the clown. I truly don't know if it was like a made up thing or if there were actual crimes or it was just like people trying to scare people or just a social media thing where there was always clowns running around. So clowns were just extra scary that year. I don't think clowns are that scary, but I was also, one second. You have to cut the top off the icing and it just shot everywhere. I had the bright idea to go to Montreal, Quebec, and they have this amusement park called Ronde. I'll put a picture here. I don't know if it's like an every year kind of thing. I assume it is. I went during Halloween. So the theme park was made totally into Halloween. And so that's where my 2 stories are gonna come from. I'll tell you one now, the clown one, and I'll tell you the zombie one later. Sorry, I need to taste this icing. I love it. In this park, had this haunted house, and the mouth of the haunted house was a clown. Like it was just a big clown, you walk into it. When you go in the park, the vibe was immediately set. They had workers dressed up with like masks on, but they were running around with chainsaws. I'm sure they were prop chainsaws, but they still made the noise and moved, and they chased you. I mean, they chased you around the park. So I was avoiding them like the plague. I don't think I can say that can you say that in 2021? Anyway. So I'm just avoiding the hell out of that. And the funniest thing with that is they don't even need to be near you. When you hear the chainsaw, you just run. It was very clear to me what this park was like. Because sometimes you go to horror themed things and you know where the horror is and you know how to avoid it. But this park made it very clear that the horror comes to you. So I'm sure I was getting scared all throughout the haunted house, but like I enjoy it. So I take my time and I go through it and I just let it happen, you know? And then I get to this part and there's a clown that jumps out at us and I was like, hey, don't like that, ran past him. So there was only like a thin piece of the hallway you could walk down. And right at the end, was a freaking clown. They look evil. So this clown is at the end, but how he's positioned, he has his fingers over the wall and his head peeking out, and you can just see the top of his head. So you can see that he's waiting for you at the end of the hall. I'm just like, okay, this is gonna suck. Obviously these people are paid. Like I'm a grown woman. Like at the time I was 21, 22. Obviously these people are just doing their job. It's not real. Paranoid girl in my head is like, if someone was a real clown murderer, this would be the perfect place to hide. So that's kind of the mindset I had going. And I told myself, they can't touch you. When you get up to them, I know it's scary, but they have to move because you have to keep going. Like that's their job. They're not there to actually like torment you. I go up this hall. And I am so scared. I am terrified. And he's just waiting there at the corner. And I kind of like lightly jog down the hallway and I turn and he jumps out at me. I'm freaking out. The clown doesn't move. So not only does he scare me, so I'm in this like initial state of shock, it just stands there. And I try to move and he keeps like blocking me. So me being terrified, I take this clown and I shove it out of my way. It falls into the wall, and like walls in a haunted house are not like real walls, like they're put up and designed, so obviously they can fall away. So the wall just buckled, and although I could hear everybody laughing, like clowns included, anybody who was near me was cracking up. Everybody broke character. Like I'm not a big person and I just put this clown through the wall because they scared the crap out of me. Not only is everybody laughing at me, but I am consistently screaming and I don't remember any part of the rest. I wasn't even that far through because I had to run out. And I mean, I did not stop for a breath. I did not look behind me. I didn't even acknowledge anything else in the haunted house. I screamed and I ran the whole way through the rest of the thing, and I came out screaming. And like, I would never hurt a clown on purpose, but at the same time, that was the scariest scariest crap I've ever had to deal with. But the worst part is that wasn't even the end of the scares I got that night. Actually, maybe I will tell you the other story now, because I'm still like, I just made my first ball. I've been mixing the icing to get it the right consistency. That wasn't the end of that fright night. So again, really fun. I could not recommend it more. Like if they still have that, you should definitely go. But it's kind of funny to see your fight or flight kick in. I thought, then I flew. Anyway, my next story is in the same park, same night, probably 10 minutes later. The zombie park looks so cool. So unlike the haunted house, which was enclosed, the zombie park was there was like a little short fence just to mark the perimeter, and then they had like a graveyard kind of set up and a smoke machine, and there was just zombies in there. And basically the game, or like the fun of it, was you had to get through the park while zombies were chasing you. Obviously these weren't real zombies, but because Ronde is like such a good park, you know, the makeup and aesthetics and just everything was a little bit too real for me. So I get in, and right away there's zombies, but there's one zombie by the entrance. Obviously they probably don't have a lot there, so it doesn't get congested. And this zombie is already terrorizing a couple other girls in front of me. I decide that I'm gonna be this clever person, and I start tippy-toeing, snuck past the first one. The park was like not that big, but luckily there was enough people in there that a lot of the zombies were distracted. Like I literally went in at the perfect time. It was meant for me to get through. So I'm about to sneak past the next one, and I look back just to see where a couple of the other zombies were. And security obviously has to be in there because there's people like me who push clowns through walls. Security is watching me. Obviously, like, they work together, so they're looking at these zombies, you know, their co-workers, and they're like, she thinks she's slick getting past you, go chase her. So not only did I make it much harder on myself because my ego was hurt, but the security guards literally to get the zombies to chase me. So anyway, again, screaming right through. I ran so fast. The worst part is I kind of wish I slowed down so that I could enjoy it, because I don't even remember any of it. I don't remember what it looks like. I just remember like the zombies, and I remember the clowns. So I'm running away from these zombies. I get past the exit, and the exit is like a big arch, and there's so much smoke. Like you get out and then just fresh air, and you're like, oh my God, thank God. I'm like bent over, like trying to catch my breath, nearly gone between my adrenaline and running. I'm watching people come out, and all of a sudden this like really tall person was coming out, and how it works is the fog creates a shadow, which makes it like so much scarier in there because you can't even clearly see who or what is coming near you. You can see where this is going, right? You know where this is going. I'm outside the zombie park, in the safe space, if I should say. The zombie comes out of the smoke, out of the zombie park, and chases me around the entire park. So I am just running away. All these people are here like lined up for rides, or they're avoiding the chainsaws, or they're getting something to eat. And I am hightailing it through the park being chased by a zombie. And we got to this point where there was a big cow statue. So it must be some like dairy bar that is usually there. I'm running around the statue one way, and the zombie's like running, trying to get me. Like we're just going back and forth. And just to top this all off with how embarrassing I am, there's a child with their mother, and they were cracking up. They thought it was the funniest thing they've ever seen. And I was doing like, you know when you scream and you're so scared that it's almost like a cry? Just picture me truly getting the fright of my life. Yeah, so that's my Halloween like haunted house stories. If you have any stories, I would love to hear them. So these are like the cake batter I'm gonna make them into like mummies or something. I'm having a lot of fun, I have to be honest. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, in my hoodie now because it's cold. So the cake pops are taking a little bit longer to freeze, and I want to make sure they're really good because I know it's going to be hard to dip it. So I'm going to make those pumpkin protein bars. I'm going to do that now. Get that out of the way. Let's be honest, not my proudest work, but they're done.